Piece chapter 1129 live reaction.
Let him cook.
We will be cooking.
Let him cook now.
We will be chefing it up. We
Let
will be
him
frying. We will be making
him
all
cook
the
now.
theories possible. Chat. Welcome in, everybody. So glad to be here. I'm glad to see you guys here in chat. I hope everyone's having a nice morning, day, or night, wherever you guys are. Chat, how we feeling today? Let me know. Comment down below how we feeling. I hope to see some people saying good, some people saying great, some people saying excellent. Chat, how we doing today? We're here to react to the newest chapter. It just came out about 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes ago on TCB. One Piece chapter 1129, okay? 1129. We're in Elbaf. This is the second chapter we've gotten in a row. Okay, we got 1128, then we're getting 1129 right now, and there's no break next week. That's the highlight. No break next week. We're gonna jump into chapter 1130, then we'll be getting a break. So I'm curious to see what's in this chapter. I'm curious to see. Obviously, we read the short summary spoilers as well as the long summary spoilers, but that doesn't tell the full story, okay? We know that the spoilers does not tell the full story, so I'm excited to see all of the details that Read On and Pew Piece and all these leakers left out. I'm curious to see if there's some juicy lore, some juicy details. I'm excited to see how apparently Sun God of Elbaf, this road guy, called the Straw Hats a rival, you know, and their experience on Elbaf peak fiction. I can't wait to see that. I haven't seen the Raws. Yeah, I'm excited. Chat, how we doing? Lone Sigma, salute to Lone Sigma. Michelangelo, salute, bro. Maya, welcome in. Sanchez, welcome back. MBQ, welcome back. We got the one and only Smokey, Young Goaty. How you doing, bro? Door Handle, welcome back. Bandit, Vazu, and Mindhacks, welcome in, you guys. How we doing, guys? So far with the poll at the top of the stream chat, 38% of you voted a 10 out of 10. Now that, I don't know. Young Smokey was calling you guys out, calling you guys Glazers, Oda Angels. Why exactly are you guys voting the chapter a 10 out of 10? Be honest. And we got the one and only L in the chat. What's good, King? So, as I said, 38% of the votes is a 10 out of 10. Then in second place at 38% of the votes is 8 out of 10. I don't know, chat. I don't know. I highly doubt I'm going to vote the chapter a 10 out of 10. You know, I highly doubt that. You know, I feel like if the chapter was going to be a 10 out of 10, the spoilers would have let me knew that. It would have let me know that, knew that, whatever. I'm excited though, guys. How we doing? How we doing? Chat wildin'. There's probably some crazy fan service for Nami. Yeah, maybe that's how people gave it a 10 out of 10. You know, some Nami fan service, some Robin fan service, maybe some girl in Elbaf. You know how the thirsty One Piece fans are. You know how my supporters who are Sanji fans can be, right? We go over this every stream. Just look at everyone who's a simp in my chat. They're generally a Sanji fan, a Sanji tard. Okay? But chat. I have a request, okay, guys, to everyone watching. Of course, like the stream, okay? But I just quickly want to say, guys, someone near and dear to me, someone that I cherish a lot, someone that I love beyond measure, is going through a hard time because they lost a loved one today, okay? Someone I truly love lost a loved one, and this is very difficult. It's very difficult times for this person that I love. And I don't want to get into details because I don't feel like it's my place to put other people's business out on the internet. That's not really who I am. So if you guys can just, I don't know, just send some prayers out into the universe, out into the world. Maybe drop something in chat and I'll let the person know, because, you know, it's always difficult when we lose loved ones in life. You know, time passes so fast and life just passes so fast. If you guys could just drop some hearts in chat, if you guys could just drop some prayer emojis, drop some form of love, I'll let this person know, because they're going through a really difficult time. They really love this loved one, and they unfortunately, they got taken, you know, by God, and, you know, they're hopefully in a better place. But just do that for me, chat. I'll let this person know, because this is very difficult. I myself, I haven't really experienced that, you know, and I don't know how good or bad that could be, because I feel like at some point I have to, like, I have, like, me myself, I've never been to a funeral, right? I haven't really lost someone that I truly loved or knew that passed away. The closest thing would be like, I guess, friends, right? Because I went to school with XXX Tentacion. We went to high school together. We were like homies. We weren't best friends, but we were like homies, and he passed away. But other than that, like, I haven't really had like true close friends or like family pass away. So I don't, I don't know. I haven't had that experience. So just do me a favor, just drop a prayer. I'll let this person know because, you know, if you guys like me so much, I don't know why you would, right? I don't think I'm all that great, right? But if you guys, for some reason, you're delusional and you like me, this person that I'm referring to that I truly care for, they are a million times better than me. They are just an amazing human being, an amazing, loving person, and they truly deserve the world. So that would make me very happy to see. Young Smokey said, they say God calls his greatest soldier up before their time. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Ain't nothing worse than losing a kid or partner. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like that's a part of life, but that doesn't make it any easier, you know? But just to move on beyond that, I appreciate it. I see some prayer emojis, W chat, supportive chat. My boy Eric Hernandez, what's good, Greg? I see some RIPs, I see some hearts. Thank you guys. I'll let this person know because it's a very difficult time. But thank you for that. But now we're going to get into the main dish of the stream. We're going to get into the main meat of the stream. Pause. We're going to get into the main point of the stream, what we're all here for. What we're all here for. One Piece chapter 1129, okay? You guys know the drill. What's good, Lone Sigma? What's good? Okay. Glad to see you both. You guys know the drill. If you guys want to jump into this chapter reaction, if you guys want to read this chapter and get to cooking, make some theories, laugh at the chapter, sus moments, all of that kind of stuff. You guys know the drill. Drop some 07s in chat. Drop some salutes in chat. I want to see some spam. I want you guys to break the chat. And we'll jump into it. 07, copy, paste, enter. Paste, enter, paste, enter. Spam the chat. Break the chat. And while you guys are doing that, we're gonna start this chapter reaction. We're gonna start this stream truly with a prayer, okay? Gotta start this stream right, I gotta show my allegiance because I'm a lion for Jesus, okay? May he be glorified in through me to bring Christ glory. That's my dream. Who was it yesterday? Someone yesterday on stream was like, what's your dream? You know what my dream is? To bring Christ glory. That's my dream. May he be glorified in through me to bring Christ glory. I'm a lion for Jesus, bro. I try to be as loving, as nice as I can, but if you want to go after Jesus, bro, I'm a lion for Jesus. Tear you apart. That's my stronghold. That's my refuge. That's my deliverer. That's my protector. That's my shield. Okay, so let's start this stream. Let's start this chapter reaction with a quick prayer to everyone in chat, because I'm sure you guys need it. We all need it, okay? So let's begin, chat. I gotta have the emu mask, the emu scarf on me, all right? Dear Heavenly Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Please give us this day our daily bread. And please forgive our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And please not lead us into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Dear Heavenly Father, my Lord, my God, my Savior, my refuge, my stronghold, my shield, Jesus Christ, thank you for all that you've done for me today. Thank you for giving me food to eat. Thank you for giving me water to drink. Thank you for giving me entertainment, information. Thank you for giving me these lovely supporters and viewers in the chat. Dear God, I ask that you protect every single person watching this stream for me. Do this for me. I don't want any glory. I don't want any clout. I don't want any praise. I want you to take care of them. That's what I truly desire. Every single person watching the stream, God, be there for them, Jesus. Lean over them and hug them and let them know everything's going to be okay no matter how difficult their life is right now. Show them your love. Show them your truth. Show them your guidance. Show them your defense and your power and your strength. Be with them at this time. They could be going through family problems, relationship problems, work problems, school problems, all these issues that plague us in life, sin. I pray that you give them the power, the strength, courage, bravery, and guidance to make it through, because I truly love every single person watching this stream. Take care of them, Jesus Christ. Lead them the right way and show them the truth, and bring happiness to their life, bring prosperity to their life, so that they could take care of themselves and others. Do this for me. In Jesus' name we pray, chat. A to the men. Now it's time to start this beautiful chapter. Now we're on the right frequency. Now we're on the right headspace. Who's ready? Who's ready? I am not reading that name in chat, bro. That is the wildest name. Thank you, Evil, for guiding me to the truth, showing me Christianity, helping me find God. No problem, bro. But that is a wild name. I'm not reading that. You could have got me, but not today. Not today, Satan. This boy talking about meat and calling chat sus. LOL. Classic Eddie D. Charlos. I don't recognize your pause. Come on, Smokey. What's good, Jacob? Smokey, you're supposed to be on my team, bro. You're supposed to be the Glazer. Yo, Karu, welcome back, bro. He missed the last stream. And you know what? This stream might be better because this is the actual chapter. Right? You know what's better than the spoilers? The actual chapter. I think the Emu Umi Bozu theories are true. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. Definitely, I've spoken on this a lot, and Greg, I'm sure you agree. Emu most likely is multifaceted, right? Emu isn't going to only have one inspiration. Emu's going to have multiple inspirations. You know, shout out to the boy Greg in chat. I can never remember the guy's name in Okinawa piece. Is it Hirohito? Is that the guy's name? Emu might take inspiration from Japan's Hirohito. He'll take inspiration from the Umibozu. He'll take inspiration from Moloch. He'll take inspiration from the devil. You know, he's going to be based on multiple different things, you know? Me personally, I think the biggest inspiration for Emu will be the devil. Like, chat, I'm not explaining that, as you guys, literally the people in the stream right now that watch most of my streams, you guys hear me explain that theory like every single stream. So I'm not going to get into that, but I think that's what it is. But yeah, Umi Bozu, to go back to what you were saying, yeah, Umi Bozu makes a lot of sense. But the thing is about Emu is, like, I've seen a lot of people say, like, when Emu was crawling down the throne to go after Sabo, they said, oh, well, he looks like an Umi Bozu. But the thing about that is that Emu apparently shapeshifts, right? I think people aren't really getting that. People aren't really acknowledging that. Emu shapeshifts. So, like, it makes me think, like, okay, well, does Emu's powers, whether it's hockey, black magic, devil fruit, whatever it is, does it allow him to turn into all different types of forms? Because just because when he crawled down the throne, he looked like a Umibozu, doesn't necessarily mean that's his one and only form. You get what I'm saying? Like, if Emu has the power to shapeshift, he could probably transform into all different types of things. Maybe like Luffy's Gear 5 in a way, where Luffy could have different forms, you know, sort of like Luffy, because Luffy has Tank Man. Luffy could have had Tiger Man. Shape-shifting dragon. Doesn't the devil shapeshift? Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure the devil shapeshifts. What's good, Jordan? I appreciate that intro was longer than Zoro's backstory. Wait, I appreciate that the intro was long. Are you talking about the intro to the stream? Why are you slandering my boy Zoro? Do you want to get banned? You said my name last time I was in your stream. Why not now? Yeah, I did. Actually, no, I didn't. I never said that. If anyone clips this, I never said his name. Yeah, the Umibozu's connected with shapeshifting. Yeah, I mean, I think Emu's gonna have multiple inspirations. But with that being said, guys, let's jump into the chapter. Time to cook.
Let him cook now.
One Piece chapter 1129, Living Dolls. And then we're back to the mid cover story. Whole lot of mid. We got Yamato on the right with the Chinese lion dog thing. We have Tama. We got Shinobu. I thought Shinobu, didn't Shinobu go back to her thin personality, like her thin appearance, chat? Why is she back to her old chunky body. I thought she slimmed down. We got Tama throwing kunai. I mean, there's not much to say. Oni Child Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage Volume 16, a ninja lesson at Amigasa Village. There's not much to say. I mean, what do you guys want me to say about this cover story? Other than, like, I think Blackbeard's going to arrive. Besides that, there's nothing to say. This is mid. Oda, you gotta do something. Speed it up. Add some lore. Mix it up. No one cares. What's good, Hikikomori? What's good, Jen Marks? Why did Sneeko donate to you? I don't know. That was a while ago. Does anyone remember the time Sneeko donated? That was a while ago. She likes to eat, I guess. I mean, that's a pretty quick weight gain because she looked like she was like 90 pounds. You know, when she slimmed down. Oda's putting a lot of emphasis on the Wano citizens having a ton of food to eat now. Rip, rip Prime Shinobu. Are you sure? Is that what Oda's doing here? Is that what Oda's doing here? Oda's showing us how Shinobu gained weight because Wano has food now. I don't know. All right, let's get into the chapter, guys. Page 1. A world in chaos. Great sun god, please calm down. Look, you can see the flames from the cracks. The sky is falling. See, they're on their Chicken Little type beat. He's on his Chicken Little type beat. It's the end of the world. Okay. We see the tree of Yggdrasil. We see the tree of Yggdrasil in the background. You gotta love it. You love to see it. We've been waiting on the tree of Yggdrasil theories. I shall never forgive this slight, you living dolls. You demolished my temple and my servants. Okay, I forgot who it was yesterday. Someone said that the spoilers, the long summary, it wasn't going to say peasants, it was going to say pets. They were right. Shout out to them. I don't remember who it was, but if it was you, shout out to you. He was going to say pets. And my poor pet, servants. Okay, so this guy, Road, because that's apparently the sun god's name, he has an ulterior motive. He's not actually the sun god. Luffy's the sun god. What's good, Zedeko? What's good, Pakes? What did Sneeko say, bro? No way he donated to you. I'll let the chat explain that story. I think Smokey was here that day. That guy is way too scary. He's more like a demon than a god. Is it okay for the town to be shaking like this? All this was really made out of those blocks? Okay, so the whole town, the whole town is made out of Lego blocks. Shout out to Johan. Shout out to the loyal supporter, Johan. Johan pointed out how Legos is a Danish thing, okay? It comes from, is it Dutchland? No, Denmark. Denmark. Legos is from Denmark. That's where it originated from. So if Oda's doing a Nordic arc with Vikings, it makes sense that Oda would have some inspiration from Denmark, because Denmark was highly affiliated with Vikings and that kind of culture. And then again, moreover, Legos originates from Denmark. So what Oda did was he was like, okay, let me grab the idea of Legos from Denmark since it's closely tied to Viking culture, you know, Denmark. But then on top of that, we could use Legos for like this goofy nature of Road, for like this goofy, silly, fairy tale, childish like nature of Elbaf. It was like a mix of the two. Good stuff, Johan. Jump over, cat. Yeah. Whoa, bro, the cat was this big this whole time? Wait, so how big is the castle? Wait, what? If the cat is this big over the village, how big is the castle? Because the cat was running in the castle. The cat wasn't filling the castle up. Whoa. That must mean Loki's castle is huge. It's gigantic. And you know, it's the classic trope of the Straw Hats taking advantage of a character, taking advantage of some sort of animal towards the beginning of the arc. Really, the Straw Hats are some zookeepers, bro. Oda's size scaling are inconsistent as hell. That's facts, 100%. Do you remember that guy, the dude that was underwater in Fishman Island? Warasumi, I think his name was, the guy with the beard that looked like a baby with a beard, giant. Warasumi. If you look at his height that Oda gave, Oda never drew him at the correct height. Literally. There's not one panel in the story where he actually had the correct height if you compare him to the Thousand Sunny and like other things. So I 100% agree with that sentiment. And like, that's okay. Oda's size scaling, right? How Oda, scales characters and stuff, it's not consistent, right? You can admit that without slandering the story. I don't really care, but I feel like an Oda Angel, they're going to be like, no, it's always scaled properly. No, it's not. And just because you say that it's not scaled properly doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It doesn't mean One Piece sucks, you know? And it makes a lot of sense why Oda would change the size scaling in certain situations. If you think about you guys remember the panel where the warlords were standing in front of the Marines? Because I think they were getting ready for Marineford War. If you look at the warlords, they are way taller than they should be compared to the Marines, because we actually knew one of the Marines' names. We knew one of their names, and we knew their height. This is like a while ago that I saw this, so I don't remember the full in-depth details. But if you look at the Marine's name and look at his height, he clearly shouldn't be as small as he was compared to, say, Doflamingo in that panel. So again, like, this whole idea that like Oda scales characters in terms of size properly is just untrue. It's completely untrue, but that doesn't make One Piece bad. Personally, I don't really care. I really truly don't care. And sorry, so the reason why I brought up the warlords approaching the Marines before Marineford, and Oda gave the warlords extra height, which was incorrect, it's because this story is fiction, and what Oda's trying to do is show a big power. Like in fiction, in stories, authors like to do that. They make a character big because the character has a big presence in the story. The character plays a big role in the story. It's that kind of metaphorical use, that kind of, plot device. So in that specific case with the warlords standing in front of the Marines, and the warlords were improperly drawn in terms of height, that's why Oda did it. But I don't think that makes One Piece bad. I really don't care, to be honest. Yunez, what's good, bro? Lucas, what's good? Escat looks 3 times bigger than all the castles in this chapter when he was in 2 chapters ago. Oda scales sizes properly. Oda better give me wings soon. Wait, what does that mean? He must have put a ton of time into it. Let's try to get away without destroying his hard work. Yeah. Hey, cat. Look at the cat. I called you guys cat instead of chat. Chat, do you guys like the cat? Yes or no? W cat? W cat or L cat? Is it W E scat or L E scat? Is it we scat or Lee scat? Let me know. Do we like the cat? Is he cute? Is he a good character? Do we like him? Get a refund for that stash cut, my guy. What's wrong with my stash? Bro, I know I need to... Whoa, why does it look so much shorter on the... Bro, I didn't even peep that. Look, it looks uneven. All right, we're ignoring this. It has to be the lighting. Bro, why is it so uneven? Nah, now you got me... No, L, now you got me insecure, bro. Okay. Are we better? Is it better? Bro, why is it uneven? All right, chat. You guys are going to have to deal with the bloopers. Bro, L. What happened? Bro, I literally just put it on 7 millimeters on both sides. What the? Bro, it has to be the lighting. It has to be the lighting. Ain't no way. Bro, this has to be the lighting. Yes, the lighting. L. What did you do? Mother. Wear a mask? Bro, I'm not wearing a mask. Nice lips. Bro, what?
Oh my god, bro.
I'm surprised no one said anything about his uneven stash last stream. It bothered me. Bro, this is One Peak, not Stash Piece. Instead of L, change your name to Diablo. Yo, facts. L, that was crazy. LOL, you always giving Eddie D. Weevil hell because the mustache, he looks more like his dad. Bro, Charlos is not my father. Dude, it has to be the lighting. I literally just put it on 7 millimeters. Now you guys got me. You guys got me paranoid. You guys got me insecure. This is L's fault. Bro, I literally just put it on 7 millimeters across. All right, chat. Oh, well. You guys got to deal with an uneven mustache. Can we get back to One Piece? We got the uneven beard. Oh, well. Does Saint Charlos have an even beard? I thought so. I swear to blank, that's lightning. Hey, Jin Marks, don't swear on that. Swear on something else. Just swear on Sanji. What's good, Ortiz? W shave and no? We good? Bro, we're not good. Personal attacks? Yo, I could take these attacks. I'm like, bro, I'm a Chansey. I'm a level 100 Chansey. Eevee trained in HP. The chat is just throwing 1 damage at me. L is like a level 1 fucking Pidgey. I'm a level 100 Chansey, bro. I'm a tank. I got the Sanji stash. Damn. Bro, Spiritual so just uploaded a new video. He back. Bro, I uploaded a video this morning about Glorilla. Her song TGIF. And YouTube censored me, bro. They censored the video. Literally. They age restricted my video today. And it leaves me mind blown because how are you gonna age restrict my video when it's a reaction to a video that's not age restricted? Explain that to me. All of the YouTube angels watching the stream, explain that to me. Go on Google, go on YouTube, type in Glorilla TGIF. Don't watch that degeneracy. It has 50 million views and it's not age restricted. I posted a video earlier today, right? Posted a video earlier today reacting to the music video, and it was literally like a 60-second like TikTok. And he age restricted my video. How do you age restrict mine but not hers? Bro. So yeah, YouTube is just YouTube trash, TikTok trash. There's hardly any platforms left for free speech. All right, anyways, enough about the mustache. Let's get back to the chapter. You guys got to deal with the uneven stash, okay? Stop that, E-Scott. You, why are you aiding them? Yeah. We can reach the end of the world in no time thanks to this cat. Huh? We're going where now? Bro, Usopp, you're literally distracting the captain. See, this is exactly why we don't like Usopp in this stream. This is exactly why we don't like Usopp. We don't like Usopp, we don't like Nami, we don't like Sanji, because these guys are not true Straw Hats. They are not true vice captains. When Luffy ran to the temple 2 chapters ago, 1 chapter ago, however long it was, the only character that was like, you know what? I'm going to go with Luffy. I'm going to go with the captain to the temple. The only character that said that was Zoro, right? All the other Straw Hats are like, no, Luffy, don't go. Now this man, Usopp, is distracting Iskat. Luffy doesn't even know where he's going. Usopp. You should listen, Luffy. We need to follow the blueprints. Ah. Is that Nami? Whoa. Yo, Nami looks way different, bro. Bro, Yunez said W Yasop for being a deadbeat. Bro. W Yasop for being a deadbeat? No. Usopp can't have a deadbeat dad. Usopp's gonna end up in jail, bro. Go look at prison statistics. Most of the people in prison didn't have a dad. You need a father in the household to truly prosper. And I'm not saying you can't prosper without a dad. There's a lot of people that prospered in life without a dad. But I'm just saying, like, you know, having a mother and a father is a great beginning to life. We don't want Yasop to be a deadbeat. We don't want... I mean, I guess it's too late, right? It's too late. Usopp is already a grown man. See, like... What I know, what I understand is Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Nami Swan. Look, Luffy, you see that mirror? We can see the door from earlier in it. Ah, you're right. If you look closely, all the clouds are just strung up balls of cotton. Look at that tree of Yggdrasil. Look at that tree of Yggdrasil. We're gonna, bro, we gotta go to the tree, bro. We gotta go to the tree. We have to see the different worlds of Tree of Yggdrasil. They're gonna put a poneglyph beneath the Elbaf tree, the Adam tree, just like how Ohara had a poneglyph beneath the Tree of Knowledge. All of the poneglyphs from the first half of the story are gonna parallel the poneglyphs from the second half of the story. Ohara had a poneglyph under the tree. Elbaf will have a poneglyph under the tree. Skypiea had a poneglyph way up in the sky. Zoe had a poneglyph way up in the sky. Alabasta had a poneglyph in a basement. Whole Cake Island had a poneglyph in a basement. Fishman Island had a poneglyph underwater. Wano had a poneglyph underwater. The last one that we need is the Elbaf one. That's the last one. And if Oda did it, not only would that fulfill all of the parallels between the poneglyphs, but then it makes sense. It's like thematic with how obviously they brought the books of Ohara to Elbaf. So wouldn't they like keep the theme going? You know, keep up the Ohara theme and put a poneglyph beneath a tree, just like how Ohara had it. Let's see. This place may look expansive, but it's really just a giant's room. Right. So the horizon only seems endless. But it shouldn't be much further. We just need to keep pushing forward. Outer wall, great tree, mirrors, town forest, fountain. Bro, this reminds me of Zoe. Guys, when you look at the map in 1129, don't you get Zoe vibes? Bro is trying to be politically correct. Chat, what would you guys prefer, chat? Would you want me to be raw, unfiltered, just a complete... What's the word? I don't know. Not a potty mouth. Would you guys rather me just be completely unfiltered, just completely reckless, or would you guys rather me be politically correct? What do you guys prefer? We got Scorpio Luffy in the chat. Oh boy. How you doing, Scorpio? No kitty, that's my pot pie. You know, I never watched South Park, bro. PC is better than Degen. Raw with righteous indignation. PC is better than Degen. Well, would you say that I'm Degen? I'm so scared to ask this, Greg. Would you say that I'm Degen? I don't think I'm degen. I think the chat is degen. People like Lone Sigma, people like Door Handle. That's the degen of the stream. I'm calling them out. I'm calling you out, Lone Sigma. Lone Sigma, Door Handle. Who else? I'm throwing blows at people, bro. Young Smokey, he said I'm very degenerate. We've already crossed half the country. So yeah, back to the map though, guys. This map of Elbath is yet again another parallel to Skypiea. You guys remember that the only reason the Straw Hats made their way through the forest of Skypiea, how they made their way through God's land in Skypiea, was because Nami had a map. And Skypiea was the land of the gods, remember? Land of the forest, land of earth, sun, and rain, right? Now Elbath is the land of the gods. I for sure believe we're going to see a lot of parallels between this arc and Skypiea. But moreover, what we need to see this arc is NL enter Elbath and play the character of Thor. That's what we need. We need to see Thor. We need to see NL come down from the moon, because honestly, there's nothing to do up there. Just leave, bro. What, are we going to have NL get a second cover story and go to all the other moons, all the other planets? No. Just have NL come back down. And think about it. Most cover stories of One Piece have the character return back into the main line, right? They return back into the spotlight. Oda loves to have major villains come back into the story one way or another. Look at Crocodile, right? Crocodile was defeated. Crocodile was taken out because of the Alabasta arc, but yet Crocodile re-entered the story in Impel Down. He re-entered the story at Marineford. He re-entered the story with Cross Guild. So bring NL back, bro. Have him go back to Skypiea. He could take the road on Skypiea down towards the Elbath tree, and then boom, he's on Elbath, and he could play the character of Thor. And Oda and the editors, Shueisha, they know that NL is a popular character. You could go look through the SBS volumes, go buy One Piece volumes, go look on the wiki. Character Japanese people, I guess it doesn't have to be Japanese people. Whoever sends in these SBS questions around the world, bro, it's obvious that people love NL. So bring them back, bro. Bring that boy back. Edo needs to discover his new kingdom fully. What's his new kingdom? His new kingdom was supposed to be the moon, but there's nothing up there. The only thing that NL got from the moon was the automata. Other than that, there's nothing to do. The city up there on the moon is empty, right? I feel like NL should just leave the moon, bro. Just leave the moon, come back down. Now I see, if you believe those blueprints show everything about this realm, then you are mistaken. Verily, this place is, in truth, a giant's detention center. Okay, he throws the net. Let's see our boy Zoro. Let's see our boy Zoro chop the net. A net? Why is he talking like a samurai? This facility was designed to ensure no giants escape its walls. Even if you were to reach the other side, do you think you have a hope of breaking through? That way is another dead end. Dee-hee-hee-hee. Oh, so the spoilers were wrong with how the sun god laughs. In the spoilers, the laugh was like da-foo-foo-foo-foo-foo or something like that. Which, by the way, doesn't another character laugh like that? Is it Daifuku? This guy, the sun god, laughs dee-hee-hee-hee-hee. Oh, is he a D-Clan member? He's a D-Clan member. D-hee-hee-hee-hee-hee. D-Clan member. Tell me what Sneeko said. Bro, I don't remember, man. You're gonna have to go back. It might be during like the anime episode reactions, or ask the chat. I don't remember. It was such a long time ago. It was a while ago. Is Sneeko one of those Sigma guys from Romania? I don't think Sneeko's from Romania. Yeah, I mean, I guess some of what Sneeko says is true, but I can't think of anyone on planet Earth where I agree with everything they say. Except my girlfriend. She has perfect takes. She has perfect opinions. Other than that, like, I don't agree with everybody. I don't agree with everything Sneeko says. I don't agree with everything Tristan Tate says. I don't agree with everything Andrew Tate says. I don't agree with everything Nick Fuentes says. There's literally nobody that I can look at and be like, yeah, I agree with everything they say. How could any? I feel like if someone said that, they have to be a dick rider, right? They have to be a glazer. They have to be a sheep. Because how could you possibly agree with everything, like, with someone? That would be a very rare occurrence. Like, that would have to be a situation where, like, the person you agree with only talks about, like, one thing, and it's one small thing. And then that's why you agree with everything they say. Oh, yeah, Jesus. Yeah. You're right. You're right. See, I wasn't thinking about mere men. I wasn't thinking about I was thinking about mere men. I was thinking about mere mortals. True. This is the one I agree with. The Alpha, the Omega, the beginning, the end. The sun. Might as well say Swan after your girl's name. Girlfriend Swan. What about Jesus? Yeah, okay, he would be the only one. But see, I wasn't computing. I was thinking about these mere mortals on the internet. All right, anyways, let's continue. Hey, keep running, cat. Yeah! Great East Cat, why are those people riding you? Hey, yo! Let's see our boy Zorro. Hurry up and go! Let's go! Zorro Swan! Bro, is that lightning? Bro, that's lightning. Bro, that's lightning right there. That's lightning. It's not black lightning, but it's lightning. It's probably Zoro's lightning. It's Zoro's lightning and it's Zoro's flames. Yo, see, this is why we're Zoro fans, bro. This is why we're Zoro supporters. Who cares about Sanji? Oh, whoop-de-doo. Sanji kicked the cat. Amazing. The metal wires? This resistance is futile. Ahead is the domain of the mighty ear god. They already killed the ear god. Yo, wait till the sun god Road figures out that ear god was turned into a meal for Luffy. Luffy already smoked ear god and ate him. Great sun god. About the ear god, the truth is, we found his body burned to a crisp earlier today. The cause is unknown. We thought our misfortune couldn't get any worse. Then we saw the cracks in the sky. This day is truly cursed. Yo, it's the Straw Hats, bro. The Straw Hats, Luffy, these guys are pirates. This is just what pirates do, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. Luffy liberates countries like Dressrosa, Fishman Island, Alabasta. But come on, bro. The Straw Hats, Luffy. These guys are pirates. You know they always got to cause a mess. You know they always got to cause chaos. They got to bring chaos wherever they go. Grr. They beat it? No way. That carnivorous rabbit? Oh, Oda actually showed us the rabbit. Oda actually showed us the rabbit. I was about to say, are we never going to see what the rabbit looks like? My Galt bunny? It was already too late. Whoa, now the sun god. Bro, the sun god was not that tall a second ago. Where's the sun god? Actually, was he that tall a second ago? Oh yeah, he was that tall a second. Holy shit. Whoa. Bro, I didn't even catch that. Dude, is he taller than Oars? Tee-hee-hee-hee-hee-hee. Chat, I'm telling you, he's a D-Clan member. He's a D-Clan member. Dee-hee-hee-hee-hee. Dee-hee-hee-hee-hee. How lovely, how precious. This world is a marvel. A grand tale is unfolding in my miniature garden, taking a life of its own right before my very eyes. Oh, is this when he's gonna say peak fiction? Is this when he's gonna say peak fiction? I underestimated them. This is giving me goosebumps. Dee-hee-hee-hee-hee. Verily, evil spawned and heroes are being born in the world I created. History is being made. This is the beauty of my living dolls. A minimalist world and it's all mine. Bro, where's the, does he not say it? Bro, the spoiler said that the sun god says it's peak fiction. This could be our only chance. The escape route is open. Let's run while we still can. Spread the word. What's he laughing about? It's a live drama playing out in the palm of my hand. Rudin may recognize you, but I don't. Let's see what you do next. Bro, he doesn't say it. Redon is a liar. Redon is a liar. You had me so hyped. I thought this dude was actually gonna use the phrase peak fiction. Bro, we were talking about that. We were like, bro, that's so funny. That's so goofy. Oda's giving a nod to the fans. Oda's poking fun at the readers. Here comes Usopp. Lethal green star. Skull bomb grass. Crack. Crash. Let's go, W Usopp. Can we get a W Usopp? Can we get a Woosop in chat? Woosop in chat? You know, we typically don't support this bum, but we give credit where credit's due. Usopp going for an attack on the sun god. Let's go, Usopp. Let's go, Usopp. Let's go, Usopp. It's no use. I broke the mirror, but that wall is seriously strong. Just leave it to me. Yeah, that's my Pirate King. That's my Pirate King. Just leave it to me. Look at Luffy. Cracking his knuckles. Psalms 144 prepared my hands for war. That man Luffy ready for war. Who read Psalm 144? Who knows what that is? Psalm 144. Praise be to the Lord, my rock. He prepared my hands for battle, my hands for war, my fingers for battle. He is my stronghold, my refuge, my deliverer. This man Luffy, bro. Dee-hee-hee-hee. Brilliant. What a chapter. Wait, what do you mean, what a chapter? What do you mean, what a chapter? I can't get enough of these weaklings, struggling against their fate. Their bitter failure and hollow despair are only showcases their humanity. Setbacks and disappointments, that's the core of character development. Bro, what? Setbacks and disappointments, that's the core of character development. What a brilliant chapter, bro. You know what this makes me think? This dude is breaking the fourth wall. Or is the One Piece the story of One Piece? Like, you know how we have One Piece in the manga form? Is the One Piece the story of One Piece? Like breaking the fourth wall? Is he writing One Piece? Is he writing, maybe he's writing the Elbaf arc. He's writing the Elbaf arc. This folly is comical to watch, but your valiant efforts move me to tears. I am glad you made your way to me. Luffy Tasso, Zoro Tasso, Nami Tasso, Usopp Tasso. You know what? He didn't say peak fiction, but he did say brilliant. What a chapter. He did say character development. Okay, so again, he didn't say peak fiction, which is what we really wanted, but he did say what a chapter. That's the core of character development. Dude, he's talking in manga terms. Bro is an otaku. Bro is a weeb. Bro is a certified weeb. What's good, Mario? Bro, I knew that peak fiction fell or quote fell off or felt off. Bro, I can't. Why is it when I stream I can't speak or read English? I don't like this giant, to be honest. Bro, you don't like the sun god? Chat, let's have a vote. Let's have a vote, guys. Let's have a vote. Let's have a vote. Do you guys like Road so far, the sun god? Is it a W character or is it an L character so far? W or L? What do you guys think? Is Road a W character or an L character? L? We got 2 L's. 1 W, 3 L's. Between 4 L's. Of course the L says L. What's good, Gifted Basic B? Hey Evil, do you like Hindu symbol? It's part of my religion. It symbolizes prosperity, good fortune, and the circle of life. You're baiting me. I don't know, bro. I did my research on certain things that have happened in this world, certain global wars. I've watched Europa the Final Battle. I watched it in full. I highly suggest everyone on planet Earth, I don't care who you are, I suggest every human that has ever lived to watch Europa the Final Battle. Everyone should watch that. You know, I can't really comment on that question because I have different viewpoints than other people. I don't know. Personally, I think the majority of of planet Earth is misled. I think people are lied to. I think certain types of people like to use something called atrocity propaganda. I will talk some more about that another time. Follow my alternative platform because on my alternative platform, I'll be completely unfiltered with that question. Yo mods, can you guys drop the link tree to my alternative platform? You guys could follow me on Twitter, YouTube, not Instagram because they banned me. You guys could follow me on TikTok, Rumble. I'm on like most social media networks at Eddie X Mancata. You can find me there. If you ask me that on Twitter or ask me that on like another platform, I'll tell you straight up. But yeah, let's stick to One Piece. Thank you, Greg, for posting that. If anyone wants to follow my alternative platform where I talk about the JQ, where I talk about Christianity, rap music, politics, aliens, UFOs, conspiracy theories, follow my alternative platform because that's where I get to express things I'm passionate about with no filter. I can't really do that here on YouTube. Plus, it's One Piece over here, so. Life Bearer says, what annoys me about the sun god is that he tries to play dolls with an emperor. Imagine him doing that to Kaido or Big Mom. Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but like Luffy, you know, characters always mess with Luffy. Characters always taunt Luffy because he's just a goofy guy. Like Luffy's not like quick to be angry. He's not always trying to have smoke with somebody. He's not like Kaido, you know? Kaido doesn't take nothing from nobody. Look, think about earlier this arc. Luffy was asleep because they entered the sleeping sea or whatever they called it, the sleeping ocean. If someone found Luffy asleep this arc, they could have killed him. You know, Luffy has a much different role in the story than say Shanks, Kaido, Big Mom. You know, so I wouldn't necessarily be mad at the sun god for that. I would be if you're going to be mad at anybody, which I don't know if you should, just be mad at Luffy, be mad at Oda, because this always happens with Luffy. Luffy always is in a situation near death. Luffy's a goofy guy. He's not taking things seriously. So far what's good, Zeniris? I'm gonna call you Zen. Welcome back. So far, this arc reminds me of Fishman arc. Hopefully we don't get a repeat of Hody Jones. It seems to be heading that way right now. Or maybe it's just age got to the author. I don't know. Man, I don't even want to go on a rant about Hody Jones because I don't think anyone wants to hear that. But what I will say is that Hody Jones is overhated. And I think Hody Jones is hated because the pacing of Fishman Island is so bad. If Fishman Island had amazing pacing, I guarantee you there'd be less Hody haters. People need something to blame in Fishman Island, and people don't really think about the pacing as much as they could. And I do think the pacing of Fishman Island is widely recognized, but not as much as people should recognize it. And people will talk about like, oh, well, Hody Jones had the pills. Okay, well, Kaido had the devil fruit. Big Mom had a devil fruit. They had some hockey, I guess. But look how broken Kaido's devil fruit is. Look how broken Crocodile was with his devil fruit. He had no hockey. If Crocodile didn't have a good devil fruit, he would have been dog water. So why can we point at Hody Jones and be like, yeah, Hody Jones sucks because he relied on pills. Okay, well, Crocodile relied on his devil fruit. How many other characters in the story relied on hockey, relied on their devil fruit? And then it's like, okay, well, why does their combat matter so much? You know, I really don't want to go on a whole rant about this, but I do feel like Hody Jones is overhated. I think a character that should be more hated in terms of being a villain is Lucci. Lucci doesn't really have a dream. He completely flipped his character personality from pre-time skip to post-time skip. It's not great. He completely relied on his devil fruit, not as much as he could have used hockey. And I mean, look at this dude. He was CP9 and he lost to pre-hockey Luffy. He literally lost to pre-hockey Luffy, pre-Gear 4 Luffy as a CP9 agent. You know, I really don't want to get into this, but you're free to have your beliefs. It's okay. But yeah, you know, one more thing I will say though, Hody Jones, there's one of the best moments in the story relates to Hody Jones. Because when you think about racism in One Piece, which is such a huge theme, it's always the circumstance of like, oh, I'm a fishman and humans did something bad to me and my family. Or it's like a human is like, oh, I'm a human and fishmen did something bad to my family. Every single time. Over and over and over. It's like, okay, you have this backstory because a fishman hurt you. Okay, this guy has his backstory because a human hurt them. It's the same thing over and over and over again. But what makes Hody Jones so unique is that he grew up with a racist attitude. He grew up with racist tendencies because of his environment, and that was something unexplored. That was something mostly unexplored in One Piece until Hody, at least to the degree of Hody. And when you think about how Neptune, you know, King Neptune of Fishman Island, he had his sons talking to Hody. They were fighting. They were having the whole koala backstory with Fisher Tiger. He asked them, Neptune's son asked Hody, what did humans ever do to you? You get the whole backstory of Fisher Tiger. Hody Jones turns, he looks at Neptune's son and says nothing. And that moment was just colossal in the manga. But when the anime pacing is so dog water, of course you're not going to enjoy that moment. Honestly, I don't really like the beginning of this arc. I love Skypiea starting like an adventure, but I'm biased because it's my favorite arc. I think you got to give it more time. Give it more time, and you know, future chapters tend to make previous chapters better, right? Wouldn't you agree with that? Like when the story develops and we get to see a arc fleshed out, that makes the earlier part of the arc better, because then when we see something later in the arc happen and it tie up loose ends, you end up appreciating stuff in the beginning of the arc even more. But since we don't know what's going to happen in Elbaf, we have no clue how this arc is going to end. We don't have the full context. So as the arc keeps going on, and we finish Elbaf, I guarantee you we're going to be able to look at the beginning of the arc and be like, oh, I see why Oda did that. I see why Oda added this. I see why Oda didn't do that. Like that almost always happens with every single arc. You know, so I'm not saying to not judge the beginning of the arc. I think we should judge the beginning of the arc. If you guys want, comment down below, rate the beginning of Elbaf. You have every right to do that. But what I'm trying to let you know ahead of time is that the beginning of the arc, it's going to be very much dependent on how the arc unfolds. You know, so and plus it's the beginning of the arc. Oda has to set the foundation. He's not gonna jump straight into the Loki, straight into the grand battle, straight into Shanks, straight into Blackbeard. Bro, Oda has to slowly build he has to build the battlefield. He has to set up the chessboard. He needs to put the knights down, put the pawns down, the rooks, the king and the queen. He has to set up the chessboard. That way when we're getting towards the climax, then Oda can start moving the pieces around. But right now, we're setting up the beginning of the arc. We're setting up the foundation. And you're allowed to rate the beginning of the arc. You should just take into account that the arc is not over yet. Like, think about it. The beginning of Egghead is completely overshadowed by like the middle and the end of Egghead. The middle and end of Egghead is astronomically better than the beginning, if you think about it. The end of Wano was like astronomically better than the beginning of Wano. It's almost like that for every arc. You need time to go through. And another thing to consider, right? One more thing. Binge reading an arc is not the same thing as weekly reading an arc. So when this arc finishes, when Elbaf is said and done, you're going to be able to binge read the arc, and you're going to be able to probably better gauge, like, okay, now that I could binge read this arc, I do like the beginning a little bit more. Or maybe you'll like it less. Who knows? But I'm just letting you know that these are things to think about. We got my boy Mula in chat. W Mula. I don't hate. I wish it was more adventurous instead of escaping. I mean, most arcs start with the Straw Hats in turmoil at the beginning, right? Remember the beginning of Wano? They had to deal with Hawkins. Didn't Luffy and Zoro run from Hawkins? Remember at the beginning of Wano, they were running away? When the Straw Hats first entered Skypiea, they immediately got attacked by Gonfall. You know, we generally get this type of thing. I wouldn't say the beginning of Elbaf is amazing. I wouldn't say the beginning of this arc is a 10 out of 10. But at the same time, I don't necessarily feel like it's bad. You know? That's just my own opinion, though. All right, anyways, let's continue. We went on this long tangent, this long TED Talk. Let's get back to the arc. Let's get back to One Peak. He knows our names. Santaso. Chotaso. What's a tasso? I'm gonna punch through. Time for a little gear forth. Okay, Luffy throwing his arm back. Hey, Usopp, there's no one to blame over a natural disaster, right? You mean like earthquakes, floods, and storms? Nope. Generally, those things just happen. Good, because that guy definitely put us through a lot of crap. He really pissed me off. He's a giant, so... I totally get your rage, Nami-san. Nami-san? Isn't he supposed to say Nami-swan? I totally get your rage, Nami-san. I'll never forgive him either. Look at this simp, bro. Total simp. El Bozo. Default Fortnite dance. Look at how ugly he is. How can you guys look at Sanji in Fishman Island, look at Sanji in this panel, and be like, yeah, bro, I'm a Sanji fan. Zoro's better. Ain't that right, Mula? Ain't that right? Isn't Sanji complete utter trash compared to Woro? Come on, let me see some Sanji hate in the chat. Come on, where are the Zoro Glazers at? Where are my Zoro Glazers? Step up, bro. This dude, look how he's ugly, bro. He looks like Duval. He looks like Duval. Man, Duval looks better than him. Saint Charlos looks better than Sanji in this panel. L with the $20 super chat. Next shade is on me. Don't diss Sanji. L, are we really going back? Are we really going back to the uneven stash? I'm telling you, bro, it's the lighting. See, it's the lighting. It has to be. I put it on 7mm on both sides, bro. It has to be the lighting. L. You know what? I will use those funds for a better shave. I will. Thank you very much. Thank you for the 20 bomb L. Can we get, bro, let me get some salutes in chat. Let me see some 07s in chat for the boy L. With the 20 gifted. Or not 20 gift. Well, I guess it is a gift. With the 20 bomb. The 20 rocks, the 20 chapters. My boy L. Zoro doesn't need a backstory because he's that guy. Yeah, facts. Zoro doesn't get carried by his backstory. He gets carried by the story. There's a difference. Sanji gets carried by the backstory, not the story. Zoro doesn't get carried by the backstory. He gets carried by the story. Yeah, Zoro on top, bro. Zoro fans on top, bro. We didn't need to read a backstory like Sanji. We just read the story. We just read 1,000 chapters of One Piece. We didn't need a backstory. We didn't need 10, 15, 20 chapters. We needed the whole story to tell the story. Because that boy Zoro is the GOAT. Lost every ounce of respect for Sanji after that one scene with that one Stussy scene. Bro, I don't even remember. Is this some kind of simp scene? Because how can you keep track of all of Sanji's simping moments? There's too many. At least Sanji doesn't have the breath of all things. What does that mean? Wano is Zoro's arc? I mean, if Wano is Zoro's arc, that's a very bad arc for him. I think how jam-packed Egghead was, people assumed One Piece would be that consistent throughout. They forgot that One Piece be selling early on in each arc and then picks up the pace. It doesn't take away from the fact that Oda could have been more 2025-ish with his approaches. These buildups are not adequate anymore of our current attention spans. You know, another thing that I want to say is we're barely even into Elbaf. Isn't this like chapter 3? We're only like 2, 3, 4 chapters into the arc. You know, we don't have that much context. We barely even step foot on the island. Isn't this like the second chapter on the island? Or is this like the third? I just think we need a little bit more time. Sanji has been written so poorly post-time skip. Like it used to come every now and then, but now Sanji gets too many L's. Yeah, I mean, to me, Sanji's biggest L in the story was being a hater towards Vegapunk's message. This man Vegapunk was enlightening the masses. He was black pilling the One Piece world. He was red pilling the One Piece world. What did Sanji do? Oh, Vegapunk, you shouldn't have been saying all that crazy stuff. Is any of that even true? Just trying to be a little skeptic. All right, let's continue. I'll grind him to dust with my own legs. Get a grip, Sanji-kun. Yeah, look, Nami can't even take you seriously, Sanji. Get a grip, Sanji-kun. Besides, I have a feeling he's about to feel some divine retribution. Divine retribution. Look at the sun god. Mugen, what have you got this time? Hey, this is the Straw Hat crew. But the giant warrior pirates were guarding them. Or were guiding them. Something must have happened. They're fast asleep. Wait, if they came from Egghead, did they go through the sleeping mist belt? Dee-hee-hee-hee-hee. This is awesome. Hiruden joined you all on his own. He wanted us new giant pirates to serve you. Seriously? Yep. As if Elbaf's strongest warriors don't follow itty-bitty humans. Hasn't he got a shred of pride? Yo, isn't this guy Road, doesn't his outfit remind you guys of Impel Down guards? Kind of like the skull. You know, he's wearing black, he has the shoulder pads, he has the skull belt. Yo, this man has that Impel Down fit. Sanji's childhood story is cool, life bearer, but his gag is so bad, and Oda is writing it so much more frequently, it ruins his character. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Sanji's backstory is amazing, right? I love Whole Cake Island. I love Sanji's backstory. But like his gag is it's so tiring. It's just not funny anymore. You have to be a liar if you think it's funny. Like, I'm just being honest. If you're on chapter 1125 and you still laugh at his gag, like, you gotta either be lying or you're an Oda angel. How is it still funny? I want someone to count the amount of times Sanji simped or had a nosebleed. Or had heart eyes. I guarantee you it's over 100 times. Just look at this small, frail body. Oh, wow, it's my queen, Namtoso. Uh-oh. Yo, is that, bro, is that gas? Bro, I thought that was a needle, bro. I thought they were giving him the vax. Yo, this man road vaccinated the Straw Hats. Oh, he's on his Bill Gates type B. Anthony Fauci. Just go back to sleep. You're in for a surprise when you wake up. Dee-hee-hee-hee. Bro, this dude, So let me get this straight. You live in Epstein Castle. Okay, you live in Epstein Castle in Elbath. You're taking Nami's clothes off, redressing her up into a different outfit. You're telling her to wait for a surprise when she wakes up. Dude, what? This guy is no better than Sanji, bro. Road is no different than Sanji. Also, that nose is insane. Bro, that nose is... What is up with that nose? Sheesh. That nose, bro. Chat, don't say anything. Don't say anything. I know what you're thinking. That nose is crazy, though. It droops down. He has a hook nose. He has a hook nose. Not only does it droop down, but then it's wide. Oh, man. Oy vey. Jordan, that is not funny. Stop it. Your nose is crazy? Bro, my nose is normal. I got a normal nose. Chat, do I have a crazy nose? Bro, look, I got that sharp nose. I got that Sigma nose, boy. Bro must be a higher up. Mula, that is crazy. That is naughty boy. He said, my bad, I take it back. Looks like a certain... Chat. You guys are mean. Bro's nose built like a skibidi nose. It don't look bad from the front, but when you look at the side, it looks big. Wait, what are you talking about again? Yunez with the 1 month, baby. Let's go. Zoro, no backstory, but Lanji fans will get back shots. Yeah, see, that's exactly what we're talking about. Sure, Zoro didn't get a backstory, but Sanji's getting back shots. So who's really taking the L? Who's really taking the L? Not my boy Zoro. Let's get some salutes to the boy. Salutes to the boy Yunez joining the crew, joining the tribe, the mafia, the gang, the family with our membership. Shouts out to the boy Yunez. Let's go. Simon, bad boy. You're going to timeout. Jacob said, evil, you know me too well. Oh, man. Road gotta own some type of bank. Is he in charge of the Elbath Bank? Okay, I'm sorry. It was just, I was kidding. I'm kidding. I'm joking. He's not in charge of the banks. He's not. He's not in charge of the banks. Don't say that. Or the media. Don't say that either. Or the scamdemic. Not that. Definitely not that. And the music industry. And Hollywood. And Biden's administration. As well as Trump's campaign funding. He has nothing to do with that, okay? Let's get back on topic. This arc is Elbath. Yo, no. Bro, that would lower his credit score now. Yo, that is insane. Yo, that would be so bad. If Oda fumbled this arc and people just made a meme of Elbath. Oh, man, dude, Oda, how would you ever recover? Because this is one of the biggest, like, most anticipated arcs in the entire story, Elbath. If he somehow fumbled this arc, dude, people are going to drop One Piece. There's going to be someone out there that drops the story. And look, Oda is gonna be, dude. Imagine like Elbaf is trash, right? Imagine we all just Oda fumbled it somehow, right? This is probably not gonna happen, but just play along, chat. Imagine somehow Oda fumbled the arc, and now forever there's a forever eternal meme of Elbaf. It's just, dude, no, that's too good. That lines up way too good. Elbaf. Oh no, chat. It might be destined. It might be destined. This arc might be destined to be a L. Oda put the L in Elbaf. Look at the Sun God scale compared to Straw Hats. Yeah, he's gigantic, bro. Is he, chat, is he taller than Oars? Or is he bigger than, shorter than Oars? Elbaf is crazy. Exactly, Zen. Dude, that just lines up way too good. Oh, please, Oda, don't. There's no way, Oda. There's no way you hyped up this arc for 1,000 chapters to fumble. I hope, Chad, I hope we're just talking out our ass right now and he doesn't fumble. Oda cannot fumble Elbaf. I'll drop the story in one condition only. A Carrot return. No, dude, Carrot stands down bad, bro. Nah, bro, you gotta either be delusional or reading another story. If you, in 2025, you read chapter 1124 and you're like, yeah, I still think Carrot's joining the crew. Bro, you gotta be on some type of drug. You gotta be on that rainbow fentanyl. What did he have? The pink coke? Dude, you gotta be on something. You gotta be like quadruple vaxxed. Like, what is going through your head? How could anyone still think Carrot's gonna join the crew? Like, that is just insane. That ship has sailed, literally. I don't know. Carrot joining the crew, that makes no sense to me. I think the next two members is Vivi and Bunny. What did Diddy have is crazy. How do you know this, Mr. Sir? Yo, it's all over the media, bro. It's all over the media. Do you like MF Doom or Outkast or Nas or P. Diddy? Bro, who in their right mind would support Diddy? That whole thing of like, oh, I separate the art from the artist. I don't know about that. That's kind of crazy. Because when you support the art, you're supporting the artist. MF Doom's cool. Outkast is legendary. I wish there wasn't such a weak reason to keep her in Zoe. Dude, she's gonna be, don't worry. To all you furries out there, unfortunately, she's gonna lead a crew for, I guess, a ship for the Grand Fleet. Isn't Carrot and Wanda gonna lead like the Mink Grand Fleet ship? Why does she need to join the crew? Just have her lead a ship for the Minks of Zoe. Then in the final war, Carrot and Wanda can pool a ship from Zoe all the way to the final war, and then they could have a ship for the Minks. Let her lead the Minks. We don't need her in the crew. Trust me. I am violating. I have no respect. I have no chill when it comes to Carrot fans. Come on, bro. Who's actually out here buying a certain type of plug? They're walking around with a tail. Man, I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that. I'm not judging anyone. I'm just judging certain decisions. I don't know. Carrot fans or Sanji fans? What's good, world boss? I don't think he'll fumble this whole arc, but he will have some fumbles. I mean, maybe. I guess some little baby fumbles here and there. It be the Sanji fans? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Arc depends on who the main villain is. NL return, please. It's probably the Sun God and Loki. You know, I think Elbaf might go a direction where Loki is like the main threat, but he's not powerful. I'm trying to think of a arc that's similar to that. Maybe like Enies Lobby, like Spandam was like the head of the antagonist that arc, but he wasn't the strongest one. It might be something like that where Loki, you know, since he's the Prince of Elbaf, he's leading. Yeah, Orochi, that's a good example. Loki's leading the antagonist side of the arc, whereas maybe the sun god is the strongest. Or if you guys want to take the route where Elbaf gets Norse mythology inspiration, we have a Ragnarok war situation on Elbaf, which would have multiple factions. So we could see the Straw Hats, the Red Hair Pirates, Cross-Skilled, the Blackbeard Pirates. We could go that direction. So then the main threat of Elbaf could be Blackbeard. But it just all depends on what Oda wants to do. Because Oda could have a situation where the Blackbeard Pirates show up to Elbaf, and this would be the arc of the grand Straw Hat Blackbeard battle. You know, it could be this arc, or Oda could say nah and have that battle take place on Hachinosu. I would just mark off Laugh Tale, because it seems to me that Laugh Tale is going to house not only the real poneglyph, but the One Piece. So it seems like to me that Laugh Tale will be an information arc. It'll be a lore dump. You know, so on Laugh Tale, we'll hear about Joy Boy's adventures, the origins of Devil Fruits, Sun God Nika, what happened to the Ancient Kingdom, the Void Century. I definitely think Laugh Tale isn't for a battle. I think it's for lore. It's for the info dump. And I think the great battle against Blackbeard, because I think every One Piece fan kind of agrees the Straw Hats are going to have a grand battle with Blackbeard. More than likely, that results in Luffy having all the road poneglyphs. I think that has to take place before Laugh Tale. Will Loki be a Foxy type villain? Yeah, Simon, that's another good example. For all the furries, I have a cage here for you. Eunice, you're wildin', bro. This man wildin'. Road playing pretend of being the sun god might be foreshadowing a... What is that? Suture? A suture-like figure being the antagonist? What is that? What is a suture? A suture? Suitor? What is that? NL return would take One Piece to the next level. Not even joking. Yeah, it would go viral. We were talking about this earlier. I think it was before you joined the stream, Zen. NL is a beloved villain. Like, go look at the SBS volumes. Go look at the character rankings. Every One Piece fan loves NL. You know, I love NL. He's pretty cool. So if he made his return, that'd be fire. Everyone would enjoy it. But more specifically, NL could play the role of Thor this arc. That would be awesome, and it would make sense. And we see major characters returning to the story. Crocodile being one of them. Fire giant in Norse mythology is called Suture. Okay. So Suture was what? You said the sun god would be Suture? Is that what you said? Road playing pretend of being sun god might be a foreshadowing to Suture-like figure. Oh, fire giant. Is that like from Elden Ring? Elden Ring had the fire giant. You had to go on a horse and you were on like this snowy mountain. You were on like a tundra and you had to break the chains on the fire giant's foot. Ah, dude, that was the worst. Do you like Foxy or Morley? Bro! I'm choosing Foxy. All right, guys, let's continue. Where do we leave off? Just go back to sleep. You're in for a surprise when you wake up. Dee-hee-hee-hee. Dee-hee-hee-hee-hee. I see you have no clue where you are. Stay and run wild here. Now you will serve me, huh? Ready, Zeus? I'm raring. Is it raring or roaring? I'm roaring to go, Nami. What is this? I didn't make that. Dude, this is just like, yo, chat, in Big Mom's backstory, did she use Zeus? Or was it only, dude, I can never remember the fire guy's name. The fire spirit Big Mom has. I don't know how I always forget. It starts with a P. Ah, I can't remember his name. Did she use Zeus in Whole Cake Island's backstory? Or no? L. Untrue. Prometheus. Thank you. Thank you. So did Big Mom only use Prometheus in her backstory at Elbaf? Or did she also use Zeus? Does anyone remember? Did you beat Millennia? Yeah, I did beat Millennia. That was pretty difficult. Bro, the last time I played Elden Ring, I made the most badass Crusader. I was lying for Jesus. I was fighting, bro. I had the Crusader fit on. I forgot, bro. I haven't played Elden Ring in a minute. I had like really good armor, really good sword. I forgot what I was using. But yeah, I beat Elden Ring, I think like 2 or 3 times. I beat Millennia at least 2 or 3 times. Elden Ring's fire. I haven't played the DLC. You Muslim or Christian? I'm Muslim, King. I'm Muslim. Or I'm I'm Christian. I'm Christian. Did I say I was Muslim? I'm Christian, bro. I am Christian. I love my God, bro. I love my King. I love my refuge. My stronghold. Do you like Morley or Ivankov? If you had a gun to your head and you had to pick one. Morley or Ivankov? Chat, which character do you like more? Morley or Ivankov? Well, Ivankov is like way better in terms of personality, in terms of character importance, you know? Ivankov cooks theories with Dragon. But, you know, I don't necessarily relate to Ivankov, you know? Morley, I really hate being compared to him by people like Dawn of Ascension, Smokey, L. I don't know, bro. You got me there. Ivankov or Morley? I feel like I'm screwed either way. Morley. I'll choose Morley. Jacob said Apollo. Man, there are some wild comments in the chat. I'm not reading these certain comments out loud. Like L posted a crazy comment. Door handle posted a crazy comment. I mean, it's not crazy, but I don't want to get people butthurt, so I'm just not gonna read that out loud. What's good, Lucas? Bro, sus answer. What do you mean sus answer? If I chose Ivankov, you would have said it was sus. Compared to Morley is wild. You are like Zoro in my eyes, King. Yo, shout out to Mula, bro. Thank you. One person respects me. If Evil has 99 fans, I'm one of them. If Evil has one fan, I'm him. If Evil has no fans, I'm dead. That's you, Mula. That's you, King. Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero looks so nice. What is that? A game? Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero? Bro, why does that sound like a fucking water brand? Sparkling Zero. Is that like a Dragon Ball Sparkling Water? He said, oh, on God, that's me. Sparkling Zero. Yeah, is that like a Dragon Ball Z, like sparkling water? Morley's the GOAT? Yo, said no one ever. All right, let's continue. Then by all means. Oh, look at Zeus, bro. Zeus is not playing. Zeus is not playing with you. Thunderbolt. Yeah. Yo, Nami. Bro, let's get some W Namis in chat. Let's get some salutes. Let's get some Wamis in chat, bro. Putting in work on road. Yo, we had Zoro attacking the Sun God. We had Usopp attacking the Sun God. We have Nami attacking the Sun God. Yo, W Straw Hats. Wami feet. Prometheus. Nami. I hate to do this, but we're leaving. Bye-bye, Block Country. Gomu gomu no. We're finally getting out. Serves you right, you giant perv. Bro, again, Sanji, you are a hypocrite. How are you going to sit here and say, yeah, man, yeah, Road, you're such a pervert. Sun God, you're such a pervert. Are you yourself not a pervert, Sanji? Remember what you said about the invisibility cloak? If you had an invisibility devil fruit, you would go into the female showers and watch them. Actually, didn't Sanji get caught in Wano using his invisibility power? How are you calling him a pervert? Again, that's just like the Bible verse, bro. See, Sanji, you say you believe in God. You don't even read the Bible, my boy. My brother in humanity. I'm not even going to say brother in Christ. My brother in humanity. How can you complain about a speck in your brother's eye when you yourself have a log in yours? Huh? How, Sanji? How, Sway? You don't have the answer, Sanji. You don't have the answers. How can you talk about the speck in your brother's eye when you have a log in yours? Don't tell the joke whoosh. Don't tell me that was a joke. Sanji was not joking when he said that. Serves you right, you giant perv. He was not joking. Earlier this arc, he was fuming and crying about this. Look at him. Let's go back up because you seem to forgot, King. You seem to have forgot. Let's go back up. Where's that panel of Sanji crying like a little baby, like a little brat? Where is it? Where is it? It's somewhere up here. Sanji was crying because this man Sun God Road was a pervert, but Sanji's the biggest pervert. Look at that. I totally agree. I get your rage, Nami Swan. I'll never forgive him either. Look, he's crying. Bro's a bozo. That is not he's not joking. He means it. When he's calling the Sun God a pervert, he means it, bro. He's not joking. He's not joking. Sanji, reevaluate yourself, bro. If you're going to critique somebody, if you're going to correct someone's wrongdoing, make sure that you're not a hypocrite in the process. Because see me, chat? Let me show you something, chat. This is my guidebook to life, okay? This is what I follow. This is what I believe. This is the truth, okay? The way, the truth, and the life, okay? This right here, okay? You know what? You can judge it. You can righteously correct your brothers and your sisters. Correct them. It doesn't have to be judgment. You don't have to be judging somebody. You can righteously correct someone, but you should do that in the context of not being a hypocrite. But again, Sanji's a complete hypocrite, bro. You see, yo, the cope that Sanji fans use is insane, bro. Look at how, yo, Zoro fans, we up. Zoro fans, we are up. Look at the cope. Look at the copium. What did we see last stream, in the stream before that? Oh, well, Sanji has better feats than Zoro because Sanji rizzed up girls. Wait. Sanji rizzes up girls. Sanji is 21, rizzing up a 16-year-old. How is that a feat? Zoro fans, we up. Sanji fans, you're down bad. That, see, like the copium, just huffing on copium, bro. At least Sanji rizzes up girls. Bro. Do we even count pudding? How does that count? Didn't she curve him? She literally curved him. She was 16. The cope, bro. The cope. This man Zoro doesn't need to rizz up girls. He was waking up with them chicks in Wano. He didn't need to talk to them. He didn't need to rizz them up. He woke up with them. Hey, if you want to, hey, all I'm saying is if you want to gas up Sanji, be my guest. But I think trying to say he rizzes up girls is probably the worst thing you could say. Be honest, bro. Literally, his character gag is being a simp, right? There's a difference between being a player and being a simp. Being a boyfriend, being a simp. There's a difference. Gas up Sanji being a nice guy, giving people food, right? That's a better way to gas up Sanji. How are you going to gas up Sanji saying he has game, he has Riz? I wish I remember who said, I wish I could remember who it was that said that. Honestly, if you don't try that while having the invisibility fruit, you're probably gay. Bro, that is the craziest comment I've ever heard and ever read. In my 3 years of streaming, that is the craziest comment I've ever read. You have to be joking. Do I even need to respond to that? Chat, do I have to even respond to that comment? That is the bro. I'm not even responding to that shit. Dude. You need to be sent to the same cell Epstein and Diddy were in, bro. We got Hamaji with the 2 super chat. Thank you, King. Thank you, Young King. I'm late AF, but we back in this bit. Like this stream. Yo, Hamaji, thank you so much, chat. Listen to Hamaji. Like this stream. Guys, it costs you $0.00 to like these streams so we could grow this community, so we could grow the stream, bring entertainment, love, and guidance to One Piece fans and sus content. Thank you so much, Hamaji. Let me know how you're doing, Hamaji. Comment down below, bro. How you feeling today? Thank you for the super chat. Matt C says, bruh, evil, serious question. Who will be the final villain, Emu or Blackbeard? Guys, comment down below. Who do you think the final villain of One Piece is? Emu or Blackbeard? What is your answer? Who is the final villain of One Piece? Emu or Blackbeard? Me, I'm 100% saying Emu. 100%, gun to my head, all my money on the table, all chips to Emu. 100 million quintillion percent. Blackbeard seems to be a character that's designated to the battle and to the goal of Pirate King, whereas Emu is a character designated to world liberation, right? Luffy taking Emu down liberates the world. Luffy taking Blackbeard down has him become Pirate King. That's definitely the direction Oda is steering towards. Blackbeard's gonna go down before Emu, right? Luffy defeats Blackbeard, has all the road poneglyphs, goes to Laugh Tale, reads the document, the completed document that Robin and Roger referenced in Skypiea, which is obviously the real poneglyph, the full history of the story. Then they use that knowledge, they use the One Piece to then declare true war on the world government, and then Emu takes down or Luffy takes down Emu. That's 100% what I believe, at least. I could be wrong, obviously. It's just my opinion. But yeah, and then you think about the only reason One Piece is a manga, the only reason One Piece sells merch, the only reason One Piece has anime, the only reason that One Piece has live action, the only reason that there's Sims and Sanji fans is because Emu defeated Joy Boy. Emu took down the ancient kingdom. Emu created the Void Century. Emu's reign in the One Piece world is the entire reason why there is a One Piece treasure. If Emu never existed, Joy Boy wouldn't have died and left this great treasure behind on Laugh Tale for someone to find at the secret mysterious island. The whole story is because of Joy Boy and Emu. That's what this story boils down to. And that's exactly how this story should end. Luffy fulfilling the prophecy of returning like the Messiah, returning like Jesus to take down the Antichrist and liberating the world. That's exactly how the story should end. If not, how? Why would Luffy take down Emu? Like, well, take down Emu and then Blackbeard. Like, how does that make any sense? And again, this is just my opinion. How does that make any sense? Because the whole point of Emu is that he's the king of the world. He's pulling the strings. Think about all the islands that are under marine control, all the islands that are under world government control. This story boils down to Emu and Joy Boy. Blackbeard is a stepping stone to Laugh Tale. I 100% agree. You need the link to the chapter. I got you right here, King. It's on it's on Kubari. It's a TCB translation. But yeah, Emu, 100%. I'd put any amount of money that Emu is the final villain. To me, that makes the most sense. This whole story boils down to Emu and Joy Boy. That's why there's a D-Clan. That's why there's an ancient kingdom that's destroyed. That's why there's a Void Century. That's why there's poneglyphs. And that's why there's a One Piece treasure. Because of Emu. All right, let's continue. I hate to do this, but we're leaving. Bye-bye, Block Country. Gomu Gomu no! We're finally getting out. Serves you right, you giant perv. Please let this be the outside of Elbaf. Floop. Rawr! Kongon! W Luffy, baby. W Luffy, baby. Kongon! We're free! Ah! What lies just out of sight? And guys, that is One Piece Chapter 1129. Like the stream, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell if you haven't already to never miss these live streams. As soon as the short spoilers drop, as soon as the long summary drops, as soon as the chapter drops, hit the notification bell so you don't miss these streams and future videos. Comment down below, what do we rate this chapter? I'm definitely not going to give it a 10. I don't think this chapter reaches my standards of a 10. Action, beauty, and lore. That's what I like to rate the chapter off of. How good is the action? Are there cool attacks? Are there cool moves? How good is the beauty? Are there nice panels to look at? Are there crazy panels that we see? Is it very artistic, beautiful double pages? And then finally, lore. How much lore does this chapter have? Does it create theories? Does it build upon the story? I don't think this chapter scores too high. I mean, I'd probably give it a low 8, maybe a high 7 to a low 8. I don't really want to say, I definitely don't want to say a 10, and I don't know if I want to say a 9 either. Again, I'm not expecting much. This is the very beginning of Elbaf. Oda needs time to put these things in place. He needs to set up the foundation for the arc. I'm not expecting every single chapter to be a 10 out of 10. That's like expecting every single arc to be a payoff arc. That's not true. Most arcs in One Piece are setup arcs. That way when you get to the payoff arcs, say Wano, everything comes together. All the loose ends get tied up. You know, and it's like that with the arcs themselves. The beginning of the story or the beginning of the arc is a setup. It's setting it up. It's laying the foundation, the groundwork. Then we hit the climax. Then we hit the finale of the arc and everything comes tying back together. So I would give this chapter a high 7 to a low 8. It was an okay chapter, but guys, no break next week. No break next week. We love to see it. Question, how will the Straw Hats go from Laugh Tale to Emu? It is on the other side of the world. So, you ask, how are the Straw Hats going to go from Laugh Tale to Emu, other side of the world, which is a great point, because Laugh Tale more than likely, I don't even want to get into this tangent because it would be a whole different discussion, but Laugh Tale more than likely is before the Straw Hats cross the red line again. 100%. Again, I don't really want to get into a discussion about that because then we're going to go on all day about that and I'll never answer your question. So I do agree that Laugh Tale will literally be on the opposite side of the red line with Marie Joie. So here's the thing. I believe the Straw Hats, they're going to go to Laugh Tale, get the whole information, they're going to gather the One Piece, then they're going to cross the red line, and that's when they reunite with Laboon, okay? So once the Straw Hats get the One Piece, they leave Laugh Tale, they cross the red line, and now they see Laboon, and that's going to be a very powerful moment in the story where Brooke gets to reunite with Laboon, and that's going to be beautiful, and we're going to be able to see that before Final War, and that's going to be a payoff. So that's something to be excited about. More than likely, we're going to see the Blackbeard Luffy battle, then we're going to go to Laugh Tale, then we're going to see Laboon. It's going to be beautiful. But moreover, I think the Straw Hats are going to stop by a lot of the islands that they did, or at least pass by a lot of the islands that they did in pre-time skip. And I don't necessarily think the Straw Hats are going to step foot on every single island. I don't think that's the case. They might step foot on a few islands here and there, but it'll be a good time to have a trip down memory lane because their ship is upgraded now. They have the Thousand Sunny, whereas last time in pre-time skip, they didn't have the Thousand Sunny. They had the Going Merry, right? Which is not as good as the Thousand Sunny. It doesn't travel as fast as the Thousand Sunny. Okay, so I think they're going to travel faster. Moreover, the Straw Hats not stopping on every island of Paradise Sea, the first half of the world. It's going to be a quick travel between the red line with Laboon to the red line with Marie Joie. I don't think it's going to be, there's no way it's going to be as long as pre-time skip One Piece. I just don't see that happening. It might be a speed run like with Roger's flashback. You remember how in Roger's flashback, when they were gathering the poneglyphs, Oda did it in like one chapter. He was going and hitting all these islands in one chapter. It'll probably be something like that. We're going to get one panel where they're passing Syrup Village, one panel where they're passing Alabasta, one panel where they're passing Thriller Bark. It'll be something like that until they reach the red line with Marie Joie. I don't think that's a problem. And you know, they also need time to prepare for Final War. Like, I don't think there's going to be a necessity where when the Straw Hats reach Laugh Tale, they need to immediately be at the red line. They need to immediately be at Marie Joie to fight. I think they need time to prepare. If you think about Marineford, right? Think about Marineford War. It didn't start immediately. Everyone needed time to prepare. The world government needed time to gather all the warlords to go to Marineford to then fight off Whitebeard. They needed prep time. So that's exactly, I've said this in the past. I do believe we're going to have a arc that's going to be called pre-final war. I genuinely believe that we're going to have a pre-final war, kind of like how Impel Down was in a way, like pre-Marineford, you know? Think about post Enies lobby, right? I think we're gonna get a pre-final war. The Straw Hats are gonna see Laboon. They're gonna cross old islands, you know, a trip down memory lane, and I think it's gonna be beautiful until they reach Marijois, and then that's where the final battle will take place. And another thing to consider is I think we need to be careful. We can't assume that, you know, every battle for the final war will take place on Marijois, because that's a, we're jumping to conclusions. Like, I do believe part of the battle of the final war will be on Marijois. Like 100%, I believe Marijois is going to get destroyed. Luffy's probably going to punch Emu through the red line. That's how it's going to open up Fishman Island. I think stuff like that's going to happen. But that doesn't mean that everyone needs to show up to Marijois. There might be a big battle on New Marineford. There might be a battle, I don't know, somewhere else. I don't know, Logetown. You know, but definitely part of the final war is going to be on Marijois. You know, that's my full thoughts. I hope I explained my take, and I hope I answered your question. Do you like Twitter or Rumble? I like Twitter more because I feel like with Twitter, you have a much better opportunity to grow a following than, say, Rumble. Yeah, exactly, L. They'll be rallying up the troops after Final War to have a pre-Final War arc. Theory, Luffy will destroy the Red Line after Laugh Tale. Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. You know, the Red Line, it stops navigation. It stops travel between, you know, pre-times or Paradise and the New World. They do need to destroy the Red Line, and I think you know, actually I'm kind of torn with who's going to defeat or who's going to destroy the Red Line, because Luffy is the main character and him destroying the Red Line makes a lot of sense because then he would help further liberate the world. But Shirahoshi or the ancient weapons destroying the Red Line, that also makes sense to me, because like the ancient weapons need to be important, right? What are they gonna do? Fight against the Gorosei? It's like, that's kind of lame. You were hyping up the Oda. You were hyping up the ancient weapons for most of the story just for them to fight Gorosei. I think there needs to be a bigger conclusion, a bigger reason, a bigger use of the ancient weapons. And I think, again, the ancient weapons destroying the Red Line, I think that's a good conclusion to the ancient weapons. And it could be a scenario where Luffy uses the ancient weapons. Luffy commands the ancient weapons to destroy the Red Line. So then the ancient weapons do come into play. They play a huge significant role in the story, while Luffy commanding them has him liberate the world even more than just defeating Emu. It could be something like that. Luffy uniting and commanding the ancient weapons. When will Nami eat the snow Logia fruit? So that's a good theory, but my thing is like, it's a theory, right? It's a good theory. I like that theory, but it's a theory. And you know, when you say, or when you ask when will Nami eat the snow Logia fruit, that's assuming like that's a loaded question, because when you ask when is Nami going to eat the snow fruit, that's a loaded question because that assumes that they have the snow Logia. And again, I'm not saying she doesn't, but it's a theory. We don't know for sure if she has the snow Logia fruit because, of course, the Straw Hat ship, the Thousand Sunny, has a tree on it. And we know that devil fruits grow back on trees. You know, it grows back where fruits are located. So yeah, obviously it could make sense that the snow Logia regrew on the Thousand Sunny. But again, with your question, it assumes that they have the fruit in the first place. And wouldn't Oda have addressed that? Because the Straw Hats and Nami, they've been on the Thousand Sunny for quite some time after Punk Hazard. So I would ask Oda, like, how did Nami not mention this by now? Like, you mean to tell me Nami planted this orange tree? She loves her orange tree, but she never said anything about a devil fruit spawning on it? That seems a little weird. But again, I wouldn't necessarily say that there's no way Nami has the Snow Logia fruit, you know, at least in terms of the tree on the Thousand Sunny. So my tinfoil hat theory is that evil's name is what it is, because 3 in Japanese is San, has an undercover Sanji fan. The Zoro love is to cover up the truth. Yo, my girl always says stuff like that. She's always like, you know what? You hate Sanji so much on your stream because he reminds you of you. Yeah, when you look at Sanji, he reminds you of yourself. So that's why when you slander Sanji on stream and you're talking all that shit about Sanji, it's all a cover up because you actually resonate with Sanji. And then we end up arguing. We end up fighting. Marineford is where all the affiliates will pull up. Marijois is where the major players will be. Yeah. Yeah, I really like that take, Zen. I would probably agree with that. Luffy, Zoro, like the Gorosei Imu, Holy Knights kind of battle, that'll probably be on Marijois. And then like what you said, Marineford, maybe the Admiral fights. Because when you think about the final war, there's not that many factions because it's Imu and the Gorosei, Holy Knights, Marines. Like that's kind of it, right? So maybe the Marines, you know, that includes the Admirals and maybe even a Kainu. That would take place on Marineford. Whereas Gorosei, Holy Knights, Imu, that would take place on Marijois. I agree with that take, and I've thought about that for quite some time. She is right. W. Dawn, your girlfriend is right. Bro, why are you guys agreeing with that trash, garbage take? Look, all you guys are saying she's right. Evil agrees with his girlfriend. She's 100% right about Sanji being a projection. Man, BS, bro. Hey, the GOAT Woro, that's who resonates with me, man. I don't resonate with Sanji. I don't have a single love bone in my body. I don't believe in pillow talk. I don't believe in whispering sweet nothings to my girlfriend. Elbaf is written with 5 letters like Sanji. L-Arc and... Elbaf is written with 5 characters like Sanji. L-Arc confirmed. Yo, hilarious, Zedeko. It's called evil because 3 times 2 equals 6666. Is the devil. Replace the E with 3. That makes evil. Yo, what are these theories you guys are cooking right now, man? What are you guys cooking right now?
Let him cook. Let him cook now.
The name, yo, my name's evil because I'm trying to show that names and adjectives and labels mean nothing, you know? My name being evil truly doesn't mean anything. My name means nothing. Nothing about the flesh and blood matters. It's all about the spirit. It's all about actions. It's all about the intangible. So I find it to be ironic if I can name myself evil and people think I'm a good person, you know? And I also think like life is like a battle between good and evil. Every day you wake up is like, okay, do I want to take the path of good? Do I want to take the path of evil? Do I want to take the path of righteousness? Or do I want to take the path of sin? You know, 333 is like right in the middle, bro. It's the battle. What do you choose? Do you choose to be evil? Do you choose to be good? Because I believe in moral objectivity. I don't believe in moral relativism. I think all of us humans, we all have intrinsic value, and we all have things that we believe and agree to be objectively wrong. We all have things that we believe to be objectively evil, right? So the question is where did that come from? If you believe that things are objectively wrong, if you believe that things are objectively evil, where did that come from? Where? It's not from evolution, because then if it's from evolution, then how is it objective? If it was from evolution, it could change over time, and we could change our objective beliefs over time. And plus you didn't have it originally. So again, where did objective morality come from? Moral objectivity, I believe it came from God. I believe God wrote it on our hearts. The stash is objectively wrong. I worship Santa Muerte. Wait, isn't that a demon, bro? Isn't that the devil? Now the name is evil because you used to be evil. I mean, hey, I used to, bro, I used to be a slave to sin, bro. Sin used to have me in shackles. The devil had me in a chokehold. The devil really had a blindfold on me for the longest time. Being atheist and agnostic, I couldn't listen to any Christian. I couldn't listen to any logic. But I've been changed. Jesus lifted the veil from my eyes. That's why everything is so spiritual to me. That's why I always see things in good and light. Jesus, Elohim, Yahweh, Yeshua, Satan, I see these things differently now because I had the veil lifted. That's probably one of the things I'm most thankful for when it comes to Jesus, because Jesus does everything for me. Jesus is the reason I'm still alive. But one of the things I'm most thankful for is he truly lifted the veil from my eyes, and I look at the world completely differently now. The veil part could be a play on the word evil, suggesting that he confronts or challenges evil through his teachings and preaching. Yo, you guys are literally sitting here cooking theories to a YouTuber name. Why are you guys sitting here making theories about my name? You guys should be making theories about One Piece, not my name. Eddie rhymes with Sanji. That's all I'm saying. Bro, never cook again. Yo, post that Sanji panel. Simon, never cook again. She is the god of death. Bro, you worship the god of death? Hey, I respect your beliefs. Wait, actually, didn't you say you were Christian last stream, Door Handle? I thought you said you were Christian. Door Handle, I respect your beliefs, but I lovingly disagree. See, for me, it's like, why would I want to worship a god in terms of being a slave? Why would I want to worship a god of death? I want to worship the god of life, bro. I worship a god that gives life. Bro, I remember those streams when you were actually more evil. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty unfiltered now, but back in the day, bro, I had some choice words for people. Depending on what people said in the chat, bro. Depending on what certain people and what certain things are said in the chat, bro. I had some choice words. Especially when it came to the whole stealing theories thing. Which is just completely ridiculous. Bro said the hard R. No, chat, he's trolling. All jokes aside, I've never said that. That's not true. Yunez, you can't be out here saying that because someone's going to see that and be like, yeah, bro, he's serious? Is he real? Chat, I never once said that. Jesus, God is my witness. That is not true. Confrontation with darkness. Together it reflects a journey of overcoming evil through divine truth. This name embodies the idea that redemption and spiritual awakening can emerge even amidst... I don't know how to say that word. Chow? Yo, fire post, Lone Sigma. W Lone Sigma. You steal theories? Oh, man. Do I even have to? Dude, I don't even want to have that conversation. In the Bible, 3 represents transformation. Ooh, transformation. Yo, I had my transformation, bro. I have to give a shout out to my girl, bro. My beautiful girl. My beautiful, gorgeous, intellectual, strong, powerful, radiant, inspirational queen. She's the reason I had my spiritual awakening. Bro, I probably never would have had a spiritual awakening if it wasn't for her. I've been renewed. And then I would say she did the first half. Jesus did the second half. That's what I would say. You follow football? I used to follow football. I went to so many Miami Dolphins games, like growing up. And I must have went to like 10 or 15 Miami Dolphin games, and they won one game. You guys know, any long-term football fans, NFL fans, you guys know, like, the past 20 years, maybe recently they got a little bit better, but the past 20 years, the Dolphins have just been utter garbage, bro. How long were you at conversion camp? Bro, Antoine, fuck you. You didn't even read the whole thing? What do you mean I didn't read the whole thing? I did read the whole thing. The name evil symbolizes the duality of good and evil. or the duality of good and evil, with 333 representing spiritual growth and the Holy Trinity in Christianity. The vil portion plays on the word evil, suggesting a confrontation with darkness. Together, it reflects a journey of overcoming evil through divine truth. This name embodies the idea that redemption and spiritual awakening can emerge even amidst, I don't know how to say that word. How do you say that word? Chal? Yo, shout out for the inspiration and the good comment, the good information, bro. I didn't know that. Challenge. Oh, challenges. Yeah, that resonates with me, bro. Who cares about your random nickname? Apparently the chat does. Wait, how are you gonna ask that? Who cares about my nickname? Who cares about your random nickname? Apparently the chat does. Don't you see all the people talking about it? All right, guys, we're going to wrap this stream up soon. We're going to wrap up this beautiful stream soon. If you guys have any final theories, any final questions, any final takes, any final comments, anything of concern, comment down below before we end the stream. I want to thank everyone for being here. I love every single one of you tremendously. No matter how much you guys roast me, no matter how much you guys slander me with the Charlos, the Sanji-ness, the simp attitudes. I love you guys tremendously. My boy Kai Official in the chat. Thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate you guys. You all are amazing. I wish all of you amazing, beautiful lives. I hope you guys are prosperous. I hope you guys have successful careers. I hope you guys excel in school. I hope you guys have beautiful relationships with your friends, your family, your loved ones, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, husband, wife. I wish you guys the utmost love and respect for all that you do, and I will continue praying for you guys because I love every single one of you. Even to those of you that lurk, to the people watching the stream, even if you're new here, I pray for you and I love you tremendously. I actually mean it. Thank you to everybody. Like the stream before you guys leave so that the community can grow and we can get more viewers in the streams, grow the community, make a true family. That's what we're all about here. And L with the 2, don't forget to shave. You know what, L? Ha ha ha, bro. I'm gonna shave. Don't worry. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna have to shave it even lower because again, bro, I pulled out my trim. I pulled out my trimmer. Yeah, dude, it has to be the lighting. See, bro, it's the lighting. It's the lighting. Bro, because I went down 7 millimeters. I went down to 7 and it's still uneven. Whatever, L. Ha ha ha. L with the 5 gifted. WL. Let's get a WL. Let's get a 07 for the boy L. Salute the boy L for dropping the $2 super chat and the 5 gifted. Shout out to XED Ali. Shout out to Stack. Shout out to Bubbles. Shout out to Abine. Shout out to Anthony's crew. All of them just got a free membership courtesy of L. Next stream, he's gonna have a whole new light setup, bro. I'm gonna have a whole new light setup. I'm gonna have multiple cameras. I'm gonna have it all set up differently. You guys are gonna see me in different angles. I'm gonna have 4 different mics. I'm gonna make sure that this stash doesn't look uneven. I don't know why it looks uneven. Oh well. Hey, you know what? I'm here for one peak. I'm not here to be a runway model. But on the one hand, it's true that if you don't like Sanji, it's because there is a psychological projection through the number 3. Bro, don't give me that BS, Johan. Welcome in, Johan. I don't know if you've been talking in the chat. I was mentioning your theories earlier in the stream, but welcome in, bro. Sanji was the 3rd brother, evil just saying. Ah, bro. Maybe I'm a Vince Smoke. Maybe my actual official name, my true government name is Eddie Vince Smoke. Chat, you never know. You never know. Just wear a BDSM mask. Bro, I'm not wearing a BDSM mask. Yo, 3moo, fire stream. Bro, I'm gonna jump on a desktop one time. Just grab membership. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I think you could do that whenever you want. What you do is you go to my YouTube channel page. And I think there's a button that says join. And I think when you're watching any of my videos or any of my stream VODs, there should be a join button. So you could do it whenever it's most convenient for you. Just the thought, the way Emu runs the world in One Piece is the way Satan runs the earth. Yeah, 100%. I agree with that 100%. 100 million percent. You have the obvious quote of the greatest trick that the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. Emu convinced the world he doesn't exist with the whole empty throne plot narrative. Luffy is the return of the Messiah to take down the Antichrist, save the world, liberate the world. He had to come back from the dead. We know that there's a Noah's Ark, Adam tree, Eve tree, devil fruits. Kuma has a Bible. He prays to a cross, to the Son of God, the God of the Sun. He was a pastor in a church. Yeah, Luffy is the return of Jesus, taking down the Antichrist, the devil, which is Emu. And the original Joy Boy is also Jesus. The original Joy Boy had a Judas, and the original Joy Boy was betrayed. And I think Emu is probably Judas and the devil, kind of like a 2-in-1. That's what I think. But chat, with that being said, we're gonna end it here. Thank you to everyone who watched the stream. I love you all tremendously. I wish you guys the best in life. We're going to be back with the short summary spoiler next stream, so hit the noti bell. We're going to be back with the long summary spoiler stream. And more importantly, we're going to be live with the 11:30 chapter reaction next week. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see what Elbaf holds. I'm excited to see what Luffy is looking at the very end of this chapter. Who knows, bro? Maybe Oda's going to blue ball us. He's going to pull us out of Egghead. And he's going to have us see something with Cross Guild. He's going to have us see something with Shanks and Dragon. Who knows, bro? It could be something like that. You like Fee Evil? My girls. Yeah, I think it'll be something like that, chat. If not, bro, let me know what do you guys think we're going to see. Is Oda going to blue ball us in terms of like Luffy is looking and he sees nothing, it's just emptiness, or is it going to be beautiful, more Legos? What do you guys expect in Elbaf? I'm curious to know your thoughts. Everyone have a nice morning, day, or night wherever you guys are. I love you guys so much. I'm going to pray for you guys. Stay strong, stay courageous, guys. Let the higher up, let our divine king, let your God, your personal relationship with God fill your spiritual cup. Let him guide you, let him protect you, let him be your shield, let him be your deliverer, let him be your refuge, your kingdom. Let him be all of the above because he loves you, chat. I wish you guys the best. Take care. We're heading out. Have a nice day. Ichiro Oda with the $1, with the €1. Mwah. Peace, everybody.